that were born in England. My full name is Jeymes Lyndon Francis Obafemi Adekunle Samuel. So to hear, you know, a prayer read out is a really beautiful thing. And today is actually my grandmother's birthday. She passed away, you know, recently, and you know, so it was a really special, special thing. I would say in answer to David's question, I'm a real, you know, lover of film. I'm a huge fan of film, right? And since I was a kid, I used to look at westerns, like all manner of them, from Gunfight at the OK Corral to The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, to all the Sergio Leone westerns. And I see a glaring inconsistency with regards to the portrayal of people of color. Every time they showed a black person, literally every single time in the Old West, they'll show a black person in Hollywood, show a black person. It would always give a reason for the black person being there, right? Like if you watch a great film, which is Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, starring Lee Marvin, James Stewart, a young Lee Van Cleef, and Strother Martin. Then they had this guy in it, and it's important we speak about this. His name was Woody Strode, right? And Woody Strode, right? Woody Strode is the epitome of black excellence on cinema. He was in Spartacus. This man was the most amazing, one of the most amazing black people that ever walked the planet, and he looked so picturesque. And I would watch, as a kid, I watched The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, John Wayne's in it, and they would dehumanize this character. He plays a character called Pompey. Now that's the equivalent of watching a movie today and seeing Jay-Z or Diddy in it playing a servant. It makes no sense. There was a scene that used to really bug me out as a kid, where Woody Strode walked into the saloon to get John Wayne. He didn't even want to drink in this stupid saloon. But he walked in there to get John Wayne, and the bartender said, Pompey, you're not allowed to drink in this saloon. And John Wayne said, Pompey could drink anywhere I drink. But he gave him the look of, not those other niggers, but Pompey's cool. And Woody Strode's there like, I didn't even come for a drink. I came for you. I want you to turn around. There's been a gunfight around the corner. I'm like, huh? In real life, Woody Strode would walk in the saloon, pull out his Colt 45 and rinse. It was just clear inconsistencies. So for me, right, I used to always like research into the Old West and to see where people of color were, whether they were Asians, Mexicans, black people. And then I find out that Wyatt Earp died in 1929. That's an amazing tissue. If I ask someone, Wyatt Earp from Tombstone, Gunfight at OK Corral, if I ask someone, when did Wyatt Earp die, they'll probably say 17. He died in 19. My grandmother was alive when Wyatt Earp was running around, right? Tombstone and Gunfight at OK Corral took place in 1881. Slavery was abolished in 1865. But before then, there was mad states that had abolished slavery, which means there was decades of black people in the Old West that weren't slaves, right? That weren't slaves. There was people growing up that knew nothing of slavery. They were in black areas, right? They knew nothing of what it was like to be owned by someone else and to be someone's property. Then I find all these villains and all these amazing characters like Rufus Buck, Stagecoach Mary, Edmonia Lewis, John Taylor, Ben Hodges, Ism Dar. How come these people have never been shown on screen before? It bugged me out that I know all the words. I always say this when I'm doing the Q&A. I know all the words of Calamity Jane. Love Calamity Jane as a kid. Starring Doris Day, right? And I used to grow up singing, me and my sisters, right? We used to grow up singing, I just got back from the windy city is mine, pretty, but they got what we got, no siree. They got stacks of 7 stories, never need any more stacks from my doorway. We got it for free. They got those mystery shows, pretty names with big shadows, private homes, the sake of civic virtues, they've got fountains there that squirt you. I just got back from the windy city. The windy city is mighty pretty, but they got what we got. I'm telling you, boy, we got more style in Denver City than the whole of Illinois. Now I know all the words, right? Because Hollywood would make sure, as kids, we would ram that film down our throats so much. Billy the Kid, Calamity Jane, Wyatt Earp, Wild Big Bill Hickok, Jesse James, and his brother Frank James. We'll know all of the words to Calamity Jane, but they'll never teach us about Stagecoach Mary, who would wipe the floor with Calamity Jane. Stagecoach Mary used to have gunfights. Stagecoach Mary used to have gunfights with white cowboys and win. Right? And win. They never came after her. So for me, it was a case of, like, if no one's going to tell that story, I'm tired of waiting, man. Let me assemble them all in one place, one time, like the Avengers. And show black excellence for what it really was. And I'd just like to say, you know, They Die by Dawn is important to know that it's part one of a much bigger film, a 2.5 hour epic movie called The Notorious Line, which I start shooting in the summer, starring everyone. So it's
okay. Some of you might not know this, but all the characters in this movie are based on real people. Every Isomdar, Bosiker, Rufus Buck, everybody. And so I was watching the movie, and I'm sitting there, and I'm getting giddy, but I was getting a little pissed. Because I was like, well, you mentioned Bass Reeves, but I was like, where is Bass Reeves? That's what I was waiting for. And then you give me Bass Reeves, Harry Lennox. How did you get this cast? This is an amazing cast. How did you? This is what I want to know. This is the movie that I want to make with the cast I wanted to make. So my lawyers are going to be calling me later.
Well, thank you. I stole the idea from them. What I done when I wrote the screenplay, probably I remember Clint Eastwood in The Unforgiven when he said, "Could you tell me who you killed first?" When he had that shootout, and he said, "I don't know who I killed first. I was just lucky, I guess. I've always been lucky when it comes to killing folk. Like, I've always been lucky when it comes to speaking to actors and musicians. I wrote the screenplay first, and I'm a firm believer in the field of dreams saying, if you build it, they will come. So I wrote the screenplay. And then I wrote my dream list of actors, my dream cast, like, who would I want for that person? Who would I want for this person? Who would I want for that person? And I took planes out, like 100 flights, to every single one of these people. I sat them down and I told them the vision. And I didn't ask any actor, you know, and all of them would verify what I'm about to say. I never asked one actor to be in They Die by Dawn. I just put my hand on their shoulder. Said, and you play. You know what I mean? And I've done that to, you know, for the record, I've done that to Lawrence Fishburne 2 weeks ago for The Notorious Line. I was like, I'm not going to tell you who he plays, you know. I was like, and you play. You know what I mean? He was like, huh? Which is crazy. Lawrence was saying to me, oh yeah, so it's a black western, huh? Have you heard of Nat Love? I was like, yeah, Nat Love is the lead in the... Have you heard of Rufus Buck? I was like, yeah, Rufus Buck is the outlaw. Have you heard of, like, Sheriff Bass Reeves? Yeah, Sheriff Bass Reeves is actually on the tail of, look, you play. So I've always been fortunate when it comes to, you know, getting hold of people. And I honestly believe if you build it, they will come. And, you know, and anything is possible.
Yeah.